Look at her. Wow, isn't she amazing? That's my sister Tracy. How does she do it? I can't do that. It was May 2002, and I was standing in my church hall at a rather large event. I was the pastor at the time, and Tracy was not a churchgoer, but she had come along to support me, her little sister. She was so proud of me. And as I watched her this day, I was so proud of her. There she was, talking happily to people she had never met before, deep in conversation. Something I felt was just beyond me. Tracy was always the talker, and I joke now with people that that's why I never talked much. I couldn't get a word in edgewise. One time she joined me on a trip to take our kids up to a church youth camp. 2 hours there, 2 hours back. She didn't stop talking. Talk about jet lag. But she had a skill that I didn't. She could talk to anyone. And I have to confess that I was always the quietly spoken and painfully shy one. You'd normally find me right at the back, preferably in the corner. I just didn't want to come out. I just hid there, wouldn't say boo to a ghost. Or, to be honest with you, I was right up the front, leading, speaking with full authority, with a strong, powerful voice. There was no in between. It was one or the other. For me to speak to anyone, especially one-on-one or even up to 10, was very difficult. I just couldn't do it. But the reality recently hit me that I had started chocolate and coffee breaks. Now, here is a movement all about people having a conversation, one-on-one. What on earth was I doing? All right then. If this is something that I have struggled with, then maybe this is something that I need to help others to overcome. After all, how can they have a chocolate and coffee break to break down barriers if they can't even start a conversation? How are you? Good. Silence. Dead silence. I have been there and it's really painful. So I need some plans. How do we invite someone into a conversation and actually have it be a conversation? We need plans. And so here are the plans. P is for preparation. How do we get started? Well, I created this little packet of conversation starters. What was your favorite toy as a child? Awesome. But you don't need to do that. You can just have 3 or 4 good questions up your sleeve that you can ask someone when you start with the conversation or when things go quiet. L is for listen. Really important. We all listen, right? Quite often we listen to respond. What am I going to say? How am I going to get my view across? Is it my turn to speak now? What we need to do is to listen, to understand. Listen to what they're saying and what they're not saying. Listen carefully and reflect back to them for clarity, making sure that they know that you have really heard what they are saying. A is for ask questions. Now, as introverts, we often answer questions with as few words as possible. Yes, no are great. So it's really important to have some ammunition with the who, how, what, when, all of those questions. So questions like, how does that affect you? When did that happen? Who were you with? What did you do next? It also helps a lot if you can learn to extend your own answers. So practice up those table topics, everybody. N is for notice. Notice how they are responding. What is their body language? What's it telling you? Because only 7% of conversation is verbal. So learning to notice body language is really vital. Are they comfortable with this story, with telling it to you? Are they happy to be sharing? So many things can come across in the way they are saying it without even saying anything. And I also think it's important to notice how I'm feeling, because when I'm concentrating what someone else is saying, sometimes different emotions come up that feel like they're alien to me. Things like depression, fear, or sadness can come up in me. But these are really emotions of often of what the other person is feeling. So when you notice what you feel, it helps you to understand what they're feeling when they're telling you, and helps you to make them feel more at ease as you are listening to understand. S is for share. Share with them your response. How does this make you feel to hear their story? Did it touch you? Is there anything else you want to know? Now that you have listened and understood, you may have a similar story that you can share. So using these plans has helped me to be able to start a conversation and allow others to feel heard and understood, that who they are is someone of value. It really is quite simple. P is for preparation, L is for listen, A is for ask, N is for notice, and S is for share. The next time I saw Tracy, it was a few weeks later in hospital, lying on a hospital gurney. The words the doctor said became a blur. She'd had a brain aneurysm and her brain was dead. I never got to tell Tracy how proud of her I was. I didn't have this new superpower conversation that I have now. The importance of being able to reach out to someone and share a few simple words was never more evident to me than at that precise moment. But I had missed the moment, and all I could do was hold her hand, and in that moment of silence, hope that the words left unspoken had reached her heart. Make the plans, take the time, have a conversation. Thank you.